would it surprise you, brother, that in the history of the NBA since the league MVP came out, two guys have played less than 70 games and won the league MVP? One of them was
doesn't surprise me at all.
One recently was Joel Embiid, and the other one was Bill Walton.
Are we potentially going to witness Wemby, Giannis, Luka, and Jokic not be all NBA or potentially be MVP this season due to the 65-game rule?
Oh well,
correct.
Yep, we may not see it, and that's a them problem. That's a them problem. I'm so tired. The NBA community has been whining and whining and whining. Oh my goodness, we don't have a criteria for these awards. Yada yada yada. The NBA puts in a one threshold to meet. One. And it's something that you would think is universally accepted. Because what else can be as universally accepted as games played? They didn't put a stat on it. They didn't say you have to score 30 because then that hurts players like Tyrese Halliburton. They didn't say you have to get 10 assists because then that hurts players like Shea. They didn't say you have to get 10 rebounds because, like, bro, the fact of the matter is that there was one singular rule. It's to play the vast majority of the games, and that's fine. If you want to lower it to 60, I'm cool with that. I am cool with lowering it to 60, but my goodness, playing the games does have to matter at some point.
Man,
real talk. Who the hell you think you are making somebody come to work? What the hell's wrong with you? Mandating somebody actually coming to work. What's wrong with you?
A job we pay you for.
Me being an awesome basketball player, that ain't enough. Even if I only played 10 games, that ain't enough. Me being an awesome basketball player, I gotta come to work too. What the hell's wrong with you? Real talk. Hell no.
Let's call it 62. If they just you can only miss 20 games. You know what I mean? Like that's 60. I'm not mad at 65 personally because it's like if you don't play enough games, you don't deserve to be all NBA.
Yeah,
you know
I
mean?
agree.
That goes for everybody. Everybody. You can still be recognized, in conversation as one of the best players in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA. But you will not be rewarded for not playing enough games. That's how it should be. And I see people in the chat, they're like, it's not fair because it wasn't like this for older generations. Well, that's why it got changed, because it was wrong. Whenever it was that way, however it was before this, it was wrong. And people that played less than 60 games and got all NBA third, second, first team, all defense, DPOY, any of that, it was wrong, and it's been remedied. It's been remedied. So let's be happy that people are getting held accountable. If that means some of our favorite players, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Luka, if these guys will never see all NBA again, so be it. That's just how the cookie crumbles.
You know what's funny about this, Ox, is that it's these same people. See, the newer generation, right? They get on chill because they're like, bro, how are you using accolades to judge players, bro? Bro, just watch the games, bro. Who cares about first team All NBA this year and that year, bro? Watch the games. Who cares? And now the same people who say to hell with accolades are worried about who wins the accolades. Who cares? If Jaylen Brown ends up first team All NBA this year, and you know that Jokic played better, who gives it? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care.
Is he playing better than Jaylen Brown?
He's definitely playing better than Jaylen Brown. He's definitely playing better than Jaylen Brown.
Don't do that.
But
we're not doing that.
It's oxymoronic to me. It doesn't even make sense. On one hand, y'all don't care about accolades. On the other hand, you're worried about who the accolades are going to.
Right. So you care about them. You care about them when they affect your guy. But Penn is the trivia guy, and Penn likes to ask me questions. Penn, would it surprise you, brother, that in the history of the NBA since the league MVP came out, two guys have played less than 70 games and won the league MVP? One of them doesn't
surprise me at all.
One recently was Joel Embiid, and the other one was Bill Walton. That's it. Everybody who has won the league MVP has played 70 games or more. And on top of that, real talk, you know what? If we're being honest, let's have some real talk. This is a you problem. You guys created this. The NBA didn't just come up with this rule. The NBA didn't just decide to say, 65 games is the minimum. No. You know why they did this? Because your ass don't want to come to work. So because you don't want to come to work, guess what's about to happen? We ain't gonna talk about you like we talk about the better players in the game, because they actually do come to work. They do play 75 games. They do play 80 games. They do play 72 games. If you brought your ass to work, this wouldn't happen. And don't tell me that it's a team issue and they're the guys that are holding us out. Well, you know how you remedy that? Tell everybody about it, like Zion did. I'm good to go. I'm good to play. They're the ones holding me out. Just so you guys know, I'm not hurt. There's nothing wrong with me. They're the ones holding me out, and put the pressure on the organization, because in the end, when you're making 40, 50 million bucks, is it ridiculous for me to ask you to come to work? Is that ridiculous?
It's the bare minimum, man. It's a bare minimum requirement. I think you hit it on the nail earlier, real talk. You said we're not asking for 10 assists. We're not asking for 20 points. We're not asking for specific or particular stat categories. We're literally just saying, come do your job and play basketball. Like that. That's all. And if you don't do that, you're defeating the whole purpose of you being a basketball player in the NBA, because you're not showing up to work. Like, so it's really a bare minimum requirement. I'm sure at some point we'll probably, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, at some point we're probably going to get a bogus MVP, which a lot of people are going to uproar about, whether that's someone who didn't play as well as this dude or not a star in the league. And that might be the move that propels him to be a star. But if one guy is showing up every day and he's beating that bare minimum requirement of 65 games, then, I mean, you should be rewarded for it.
But we
how many times do you think Nikola Jokic hasn't played 70 games?
This is going to be my other point.
This might be the first season.
He has played exactly one season. It was 22-23. He played 69 games that year. That's it. That's the only time he's ever missed 70 games. This season, this injury that he just sustained because of, everything that we're going through with the Achilles tears and people being very, very cautious with these, strains. Yep. This will be the first time in, I want to say, almost a decade that he's missed 7 games straight or more. Well, presumably.
All, before he got hurt, he hadn't missed a game all season. He had played every game. He hadn't missed a game.
So this is the type of professional thing. I don't think this rule was designed to penalize guys or hurt guys' legacy. It was designed to get guys to play. And most importantly, because these all-NBA, all-star, MVP stuff, this is marketing for organizations. This is also incentive for organizations to get guys to play, right? Because if your guys win an MVP, that's marketing for you. That's ticket sales for you. That's really great for you. If Cade wins MVP, how is Detroit going to market that going forward? That's huge, right?
MVP so, in Detroit, that's a big deal, yo.
Yep. It is a big deal. So this is what I'm saying. Like from the perspective of what the rule was designed to do, it's working. Unfortunately, it's going to cost Nikola Jokic potentially an All-NBA, and that, from a legacy perspective, is very stupid, because he could play 50 games and probably still deserve All-NBA based on how he's played.
Yeah, but you should get penalized for being hurt and injured. You should. This is not about fairness. I don't understand how many times I gotta explain to you all that professional sports is nothing about fair. You know what I'm saying? This isn't fair. It's life. Life happens. You get hurt, you get penalized. Sorry. You know
biggest Kawhi fan up here. The guy defending Nikola, the guy defending Joel Embiid is telling me this. Okay,
and he gets penalized as he should. This isn't about real quick, man, because this isn't about Joel Embiid. This isn't about Kawhi Leonard. This isn't about Nikola Jokic. I know that y'all gonna cry about it because Nikola Jokic, he's gonna miss him. But, oh well, tough shit. Like if Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so why do you care so much? Kawhi, it doesn't matter, chill. We're doing it in basketball because it's been going on long enough. Kawhi Leonard doesn't play 65 games, Penn. He doesn't deserve shit. He doesn't deserve any accolades because if he's not there, but see, some of us don't care about that stuff. I don't give a damn about All NBA or All D. I don't care about that. So this is only for the accolade merchants and people that feel like that you won't get recognized as a great player if you don't get the accolade. If you're an actual fan of basketball and not only here for the narrative talk, then you won't care about about who's All NBA first, second, or third team. I think it should go even further. I've said before. I'm not if I'm a team owner, I'm finding a way to where if you don't play these games, I'm not paying you all that money. You know what I'm saying?
Contract,
but, hey, that's besides the point. We're not going into
now. I know
that.
why you want to move to Nashville.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying all that. I'm never mind. I'm not going.
I'm gonna say it like this, man. We've never seen an employee of the month that didn't show up to work.
No,
you don't get the employee of the month by not going to work. You don't if you work a regular 9 to 5, you don't get paid without going to work. You don't get any type of incentive if you don't go to work. I don't care how often you sick, and if you're sick too damn often in the NBA, if you're injured too damn often, you can't lose your job. But if you work a 9 to 5 and you sick too damn often, somebody's gonna have a conversation with you, and it's time for you to go. Yeah. So it's like I don't think it's too crazy that the NBA is trying to tighten up these rules on guys showing the work, because yes, it's a dream job. It's one of the best jobs in the world, but ultimately it's still work. It's still work. If you want to go play basketball and you want to do it on your own terms, shit, hit the Rucker. Go to one of these ballparks in LA.
But man, Chill said, it's their fault. All these prima donnas out here acting like NFL wide receivers. These players now they're just prima donnas. They want to take mental health days and shit. Man, get your ass on the basketball court.
No, I will
don't get the accolade.
I'll say this because there are times where the organization is sitting the players and not necessarily the players sitting themselves. That does happen. So just to be fair and on that point. But I do think to people in the chat that are saying like, well, the other generations didn't have this rule and other generations still got like the All-NBAs and the awards and stuff like that. But what the rule was originally to combat like the load management problem, right? Yeah. They wanted to incentivize players to play the games. And the reason why being All-NBA is important to these players is because that boosts your contract. You can earn more money when you make All-NBA teams. And the fact of the matter is they showed that if a player makes the effort to play the games to ensure the contract, they will reward said player, even if they don't necessarily play at an All-NBA level, and put them on the All-NBA team. The player I'm talking about is Tyrese Halliburton. That year, Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. To me, he already didn't start this. He didn't start the season that great. If y'all remember, he started the season kind of trash.
Yes.
Not even kind. He started the season god awful, to be honest with you. And I think that All-NBA team selection that he got was questionable. But guess what? They saw Tyrese made the effort. He got the 65 games. They put him on the All-NBA team because they knew his contract was coming up, and that's why he was trying to play the games. They put him on. He made the team. He got the contract. So even clear, the league is telling you if you make the effort for that kind of incentive, we'll even put you on the team so you can get the contract. So I think the conversation really is. I think it's stupid that an All-NBA team dictates how much money you can make with a specific team. If I make Supermax or Max Player on this specific team, regardless of where I ranked in the league this certain year, I should be paid accordingly. That to 100%. Me is the problem. Having the awards tied to contracts is the problem. But having any kind of threshold to meet to get an award isn't penalizing anybody. In fact, it's rewarding the people that do hit the criteria. So I don't even understand. I don't get that logic.
Well, Penn, my counter to Ox, when you talked about who cares, these players care. How many times have you seen a guy walk up to the podium who won the league MVP? He's in tears. How many times have you seen a guy win the defensive player of the year and he's in tears? How many times have you seen these guys elated when they are first team All-Pro? These guys care about this stuff. And the reason why these guys care about this stuff because they know how hard it is at that level to achieve that. Like they don't just hand out first team All-Pros. They don't just give away being the league MVP. You don't just give away the NBA Finals trophy. Like that shit is hard to do. So when I get that, that's an achievement for me. And I don't want to scoff at it. And the requirement for me to show up to work isn't a big deal when this is the end result. That's not, if that's all you asking me to do, you ain't asking me to get busy because I'm going to do that regardless. What you are asking me at the base, Pen, is show up to work. That's what you're asking me to do.
That's just the prerequisite, Chill. That's the prerequisite.
That's part of it.
If you can't do the prerequisites, then you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna get the rest. That's just as simple as it is. And to your point, though, real talk, Players need to speak up, stand on their nuts, pull a Max Crosby. If they're sitting you, make it be known. Go record yourself jumping on the trampoline playing basketball with your daughter. Let them know I could play. They not letting me. But stop sitting around like a church mouse. You sitting around, you tucking your tail, and they playing with your money. Then that's your fault too. Be a man, stand on your nuts.
You saying be a snitch? Respect.
I'm mad at
it.
Sometimes you got to.
And the dude in the chat, Jalen, said that will it fix the problem? Hell yeah, it's gonna fix the problem. You know why? Because we start seeing guys, and y'all know how I feel about Julius Randle. But when we start seeing guys like Julius Randle, first team All Pro, we start seeing guys that ain't got no business first and second team All Pro on the All Pro team, and we start seeing dudes in the MVP conversation. I promise you, these guys are gonna be like, nah. Because what's going to happen is when these guys are ending up on first team All Pro and second team All Pro, man, you know what that means? That means that they are now in that conversation with these dudes. And we know for a fact that there's dudes who shouldn't be in those conversations, but they are because of what they achieved. Because you couldn't come to work because physically you couldn't hold up. Well, now you know what I got to do? I got to start bringing my ass to work because ain't no way you're going to start talking about him like you talk about me. We seeing it right now, real talk, with Wemby. Wemby don't want to hear you talk about him and Chet in the same conversation. Don't bring him up when you're talking about me. Don't do that. And Wemby is not in the minority. There's plenty of players in the league that think like that. They just won't say it. Wemby will say it. But when you see these guys now making first team All Pro and second team All Pro, when you see this guy, said player, being third in MVP votes because you wasn't available, because you weren't available, and now people are saying, you know, he's as good as you. Well, we got to stop that. And we don't got to stop that because of the rule. I got to start coming to work.
Yeah. It's all fun and games. Bridges in the MVP conversations.
I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea. Also, this will be my last point about the situation. Like how the thought of Jaylen Brown playing this well, it would be a travesty if he's first team All NBA, or a player like Cade Cunningham who's doing what he's doing in Detroit. It'll be a travesty if he made first team All NBA. These other players are playing phenomenal basketball. It's not like these other guys are, boo-boo cheese or whatever. These guys are great. They're playing fantastic basketball. They're leading their teams to win. They're playing great. So they have a right to that award just as much as anybody else. And I also just don't agree with the logic or fact that I can literally, let's say I play like 49, 50 games, right? And there's another player who plays 70 plus. And maybe, yes, I did play better than him during my time. Another topic also that doesn't get brought up, this is a point that never gets made. The less games I play, that actually could lead to a bit of inflation in my statistics as well. Because what if I do go on a 2-week, 3-week bad stretch later on in the season that does dull my averages and my percentage points by a tad bit? But we never know because I only played 50 games. I could have had a bad 5-10 game stretch. I could have had a bad 12 game stretch, but who knows? So we see the 50 games, we see their numbers at 50 games, then we're like, oh my God, they're way better than the person that's playing 70 games. Yeah, but the guy that's played 70, 75 games, he also has more opportunities to play bad because he played the games.
Right. So real talk, your original point about that was what I was trying to say before y'all let Damo come up here and jump me and turn everybody against me and say I was disrespecting Tyrese Maxey because he was playing at a first-team All-NBA level. Because there's guys, Chill, I got to call you out, that made up their mind before the season started and said that Jokic, Luka, Wemby, SGA, Giannis, these are the guys. Now, we have to get away from that mindset because there's guys like Cade, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Austin Reeves at the time. There's guys who are playing great basketball but will never get acknowledged because we have determined that these are the 5 guys before it starts.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.